She was only the second woman in history to be both the First Lady and mother to a president. Tonight, we remember Barbara Bush, who lost her life today at 92 years old. Good evening to you. I'm Kristine Johnson. Maurice is off tonight. Just 2 days ago, the Bush family announced that Mrs. Bush had decided not to seek additional medical treatment and instead sought comfort care at her Houston home. And that is where she passed away today. CBS 2's Mary Calvi has a look back at her life and legacy.
Former First Lady Barbara Pierce Bush's political roots ran deep. She was a distant cousin to the nation's 14th President Franklin Pierce, but America knew her as the matriarch of a political dynasty, the wife of the 41st president and the mother of the 43rd president.
I'd love to have a hug.
She liked to think of herself as everyone's grandmother.
And speaking of glamour, I want you all to look at me very carefully. Please notice the hair, the makeup, designer clothes.
Mrs. Bush seldom held back her opinions. During the 2012 presidential primary election, she even criticized the candidates from her own party.
I hate the fact that people think compromise is a dirty word. It is not a dirty word.
But her legacy is literacy. As First Lady, she launched a campaign to help people learn to read. She visited schools, reading to children, and wrote a book about her beloved family dog, a spaniel named Millie.
If more people could read, write, and comprehend, we would be that much closer to solving so many of the problems that plague our nation.
Mrs. Bush was raised in a New York City suburb. She attended a prestigious private school. She was 16 when she met George Herbert Walker Bush during Christmas break. She left college to marry Mr. Bush after he returned home a hero from World War II. She had 6 children and lost a daughter to leukemia at the age of 4. As the wife of a congressional ambassador, CIA director, vice president, and president, she spent decades in the political spotlight. She preferred privacy, but still campaigned for her husband and sons, and used her homespun wit to charm the press.
I have more fun on the campaign trail, and I hope you guys don't get near me. I hope you all leave me alone.
She avoided any public involvement in her husband's role as commander-in-chief, but when President Bush fell ill at a state dinner in Tokyo, White House staffers called on Mrs. Bush to calm international concern about the president's health. Her lighthearted response broke the tension.
I can't explain what happened to George because it never happened before, but I'm beginning to think it's the ambassador's fault. He and George played the Emperor and the Crown Prince in tennis today, and they were badly beaten. And we Bushes aren't used to that.
Barbara Bush will be remembered as a gracious First Lady who headed one of the nation's most prominent political families. Mary Calvi, CBS 2 News.
And family members say that Barbara Bush was in good spirits and spent her final days alert and talking with family and friends. Mrs. Bush's son, former President George W. Bush, says his mother was a fabulous First Lady. He released a statement saying in part, quote, "To us, she was so much more. Mom kept us on our toes and kept us laughing until the end." And President Trump said, quote, "Amongst her greatest achievements was recognizing the importance of literacy as a fundamental family value that requires nurturing and protection. She will be long remembered for her strong devotion to country and family."